Good morning, Royally Quacked fans, to episode 105. Maybe our earliest we've ever started.
That I don't know.
I don't know if we've ever started before the 10.
I don't know. That's a good question.
We might have recorded something, maybe a special one, but I think this is the earliest we've ever done one. So,
yeah. Well, good morning. Hopefully everyone has their cup of coffee. And on the audio side, good morning, good afternoon, or good night. And if you're traveling to or from work, drive safe.
Amen to that. Amen to
Don't
that.
text and drive. Just put us on the Bluetooth and just hit play and enjoy the drive. I'll play ocean sounds for you later. No, I'm just
kidding. Yeah. Play the ocean sounds and they fall asleep while they're driving.
Honestly, sometimes when I have a hard time sleeping, that's what I do. I'll play ocean sounds and I knock out fast.
Yeah. Well, you just talked about safe driving, then you say you'll play ocean sounds. So
it was a joke, because it's also supposed to be relaxing.
That's an oxymoron.
So people that are going through traffic, maybe they're stressed out, and you just want to relax them. It's like when you go to get a massage, they play that nice, weird, peaceful music.
You had to throw weird in there, didn't you?
Sometimes it is weird. Sometimes it is weird. But welcome back after our little break. I mean, at least you guys got a new episode while we didn't have a live one for you. I hope everyone enjoyed the Daryl Evans episode, because honestly, if you enjoyed it, we enjoyed talking to him and making that episode for you guys.
What an incredible person he is. Not is he just not was a talented hockey player, and maybe scored one of the most important goals in Kings history.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, take away Stanley Cups, of course. I think that probably is the one without the Stanley Cups. And what a nice man. Oh my gosh. He is what you guys see and the warmth you feel from him. I mean, probably through the radio. And I know he gets a little bit of TV time too. And you know what? He needs more TV time, because that guy's, I'm not fashionable at all. That guy, he's an icon for fashion. I mean, and it's all Daryl. It's him. You're seeing the real guy. I can't tell you how much fun that was. I so enjoyed it. These special ones we have done. Sorry, I just got a really important text. It kind of threw me off my thought pattern there a little bit. But anyways, all these little special episodes we've done, they mean so much. And to be honest with you, I mean, Cody, I'm just being real here on this part. Cody sent me the colors of our voices, and I don't remember what color. I don't know.
I'll explain this a little bit better. So, where we recorded, it shows our audio waves and stuff like that. I think I made you purple, I made me orange, and Daryl was green. I just wanted to make the colors all different, and it was 95% green. But honestly, I told Daryl beforehand, I was like, don't feel like you're talking too much. I'm like, I'm pretty sure our fans rather hear from you than hear from us.
Well, we did preface, because if you listen to the Jesse Cohen one, he kept apologizing for taking over the episode, which
we were
I didn't. I had no problem with that.
I was like, just keep going. He was talking crap on me and the Ducks, but I was like, hey, keep going. It's funny. I love it.
He kind of has that Tim sense of humor, your little brother, a little bit. He does it in it looks dry little way. He really doesn't laugh at it, but it's funny. I mean, I literally was driving to work, and it seemed like I started the podcast, and then I was there, and I'm going, wow, that was fast. So maybe if I really wanting a fast drive to work, I'll just put on that Jesse Cohen one.
There you go.
I have not listened to the Daryl Evans, just to be honest.
You good there?
What's that?
You good there? You like stop mid-sentence.
Yeah, I know. It's
You...
okay. I just want to be honest with everybody. It's been a rough week. And I got to tell you, today is the best I've felt in such a long time.
Well, that's good.
So I'm a little distracted with that right now because it's been very difficult for me. So, and I'm not going to go into all the specifics because you guys don't really, need to know that what's going on. I'm feeling so much better, and sorry, I'll try not to get distracted again. But back to our podcast. Let's go, my Yankee bros from Frankie Cruz. Hey, man.
Our Angels are 2-0 right now. So, I mean, it's looking good right now. I'm not going to say anything else.
Well, it's funny is, Aaron Judd, a 4K first game, and then he comes back and gets a couple of hits and a homer.
See, you can't scare Frankie, Dad, with and everything. You scared him. He cares about you.
Oh, hey. Yeah. Well, thank you. Hey, honestly, I'm a big believer in prayer, and I think there's power in it. And all you just feel free to lift it up to God. Prayers for me. I've been having some struggles, and I really would appreciate, you don't have to know all the specifics, just, pray to God just keeps healing me right now. Yeah. So, and it's not any kind of disease or anything like that. I just want everybody to know I'm not sick. It's not that. So anyways, let's move on to the podcast again. And it's so nice to see you in the comments again, Frankie. We love you. You're like our brother from another mother that's a Yankee fan. And if you don't know, it's like it's the worst possible team. I think that I don't think my wife even likes the Yankees at all. I think she loves you though, Frankie. So there's an exception to the rule. But anyways, the Yankees have always been, it's like the Montreal Canadiens in hockey.
Honestly, there's one team I hate more than the Yankees.
Yeah, Toronto Maple Leafs.
No, I'm talking about baseball wise.
Oh,
I said the New York. No, there's one team I hate more than the Yankees. It's the Oakland A's or the Sacramento A's. I don't know. I feel like their fans are just the most annoying, in my opinion.
Well, you just offended all our Oakland fans.
I mean, I'm pretty sure they're happy their team is out of Oakland. Frankie says, "I love being hated for being Frankie the Yankee." Hey, I love you, Frankie.
Yeah,
it's just the Yankees. Yeah, but like I said, I love you, Frankie.
Hate's a big word. I'm not going to ever say I hate the Yankees. They're not my team. I'm just going to say that.
Yeah,
that's a nice way to put it. And unfortunately, I'm one of those Angel fans that have been suffering for the last
84 years.
84 years. Anyways, let's go to the podcast, Cody. We do have plans today. Did you want to tell everybody what we're doing?
So the reason why we started so early is because we're going to the Ducks watch party at Brewery X. We live, about an hour and a half away. So that's why we're trying to get it done earlier. That way we can be out there, because when I message people about that we're going, they were like, hey, parking could be hell. You should get there early. So I was like, okay, so we should probably start early, head over there, and then hopefully find a parking spot and then just enjoy a nice Ducks victory at Brewery X with all the great fans over there.
Well, I think Mom fell asleep on us. I think that's what a Z means, right?
Yeah. Sure.
Sorry, honey.
Let's go with the Kings news first, since you have so much.
Oh man, it's so big. I don't know what to do. Let me. There we go. Yeah, it's a little 4 tidbits here. Armia returns from the IR, which I'm sure everybody already knows. And Byfield is heating up again, and he's probably over the last 6 or 7 games been their best player. I mean, he's had a couple games he didn't score, but I mean, in the faceoff circle where he was really bad, I think he had 1 under 50, 1 at 50, and the rest were like 60 something and higher. So we need this going into next year. We need him to heat up. We need him to take that number 1C so we could look for a 2C, which would cost us a whole lot less. So Byfield, keep it going. Let's start this way next year and keep it moving. And what a smart move. I'm not sure who made it. I'm sure Holland gets the credit for it, to add Matt Green to the coaching staff. Matt Green is a winner. Kings do not win a Stanley Cup without Matt Green, who is one of those guys that the stats aren't there, but he just helps them win. And then also the last bit of news, and I'm sure everybody's heard this already if you're a real Kings fan, but Kopitar hits 1,500 games. Now, what you don't realize is when you hit 1,000 with the same team, it's something to celebrate. He's halfway to the second 1,000. So,
Mom said about the Z comment, that was a mistake. Die hard Angels fans. You know, it's funny. You're missing probably the biggest Kings news of the past couple of weeks.
What's that?
You just talked about him. Literally in that last one.
Oh yeah. I thought we talked about it. We did not.
No.
He also.
Because I was looking back, I'm like, we talked about he had the most road points, and last time we talked, he was just 1 point away.
He is now okay. Thanks, Cody, for bringing up my mistake. It's been one of those kind of weeks, anyways. I appreciate that. But Anze Kopitar is now the all-time leading points for the Kings. He surpassed Marcel Dion doing that. Yep, Captain Chaos, it's old age. You know, I was looking at a picture of you last night, and it just made me forget everything else. Anyways.
Well, congrats to Anze Kopitar.
Yeah.
As I know, we've had issues with this on our podcast with debates, but he is the greatest King of all time.
Okay. Sort of.
No. Okay. Here. Yeah. So he's the greatest King of all time, and but Gretzky was the greatest to ever wear it. Yeah, that's true.
Well, you know, you also have Marcel Dion too. I mean,
okay.
You know, he was a great Kings, but he only played 9 seasons for the Kings, and he played a bunch of seasons in Detroit. And then I can't remember where he went after that for a little bit. Sorry about the laughing, but Captain Chaos, my ugliness will do that. I just thought, thank you, Adam. I so needed that laugh. I appreciate you, buddy. I know we go back and forth, but I do appreciate you and miss you when you're not here.
Yes.
And saying things to us.
So we'll move on to Ducks news now. I'm gonna skip one because I really want to talk about that one more. Roger McQueen was named Hockey East Rookie of the Year in the NCAA this year. McQueen finished his freshman season at Providence as the team's second leading scorer, recording 27 points with 11 goals and 16 assists in 35 games. He did struggle at first, but he really got hot later on. The Providence, they just got eliminated from the hockey tournament. So Roger McQueen could end up signing like his ELC or even his like a what they call an ATO, an amateur tryout with the San Diego Gulls and stuff like that. But I don't know. I want to hear from you, Ducks fans. What do you guys think? Should McQueen sign or should he stay another year at Providence? In my honest opinion, I think he should stay another year at Providence. I don't think the Ducks desperately need him at this point. And probably by the time that he is ready, he'll be that perfect, 3C, 2C, player that we need. And he's on the ELC contract, not a, he'll help the salary cap part of it. So I think another year in college would really help McQueen's game. We need to see him dominate the college.
Well, what I'm going to say to you is that from what I've seen with the whole Beckett-Seneca thing, obviously we both felt he needed another year. And the team felt differently about it.
Yeah.
And look at that result. I mean, right now, I would trust Ducks management to make the right decision on that one. I think they did with Seneca, and I didn't think he did not look all that fantastic at that rookie face-off. And now he's over 50 points a rookie year.
Yeah, honestly, he's like at 52 points.
Yeah, well, over 50. I didn't want to give exact.
I want to say he's at 55. I want to say we'll have more on that later.
But anyways, no, I would totally.
I didn't think about it like that. So that is a good point you made. But the thing is, I think with Beckett, he dominated his draft plus 1 year. McQueen didn't really dominate his draft plus year. And McQueen also kind of lost a year because of the injury.
So
Beckett wasn't in.
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead, Cody. Finish.
No, because all right. So remember, Beckett was fully healthy his draft year, fully healthy the year after he got drafted. McQueen was not healthy his draft year,
right?
But he was pretty healthy this year. So maybe that's kind of like a lot of time that McQueen missed.
True. What I'm going to tell you too is I agree with you, what you said, but just I wanted to put that caveat in about management, because if they see that he could prosper, maybe it's the AHL instead of just the OHL or what. I'm not sure. Oh, he's in college, right?
Yeah, he's in college. So once he okay. So here's the thing. If they were in the CHL, the Canadian Hockey Junior League, the OHL, WHL,
right?
The Quebec Hockey League one. If they sign their ELC, they can stay in that league. But once you sign your ELC in college, you can't go back to college. So that's the thing. So if even if he
stay another year.
Yeah, I say stay another year in college. The Ducks don't desperately need him right now. So I think for the Ducks and for McQueen's best interest, he needs to stay another year in Providence, dominate, and then maybe once he's depending on when they get eliminated and the season's over next year, the Ducks can always call him up and he can always play like the last 4 or 5 to 10 games,
Yeah.
So, and then we can really see how he is there, and hopefully the Ducks are in a playoff spot next year, and then we can see how he is in the last, like I said, 10 games in playoffs. So, all right, that's it for the Roger McQueen stuff. Another Ducks prospect who we actually did sign, the Ducks have signed right winger Herman Trapp to a 3-year entry-level contract beginning in the 2026-2027 season. I believe he did sign an ATO, the amateur tryout, with the San Diego Gulls. Herman Trapp, if you guys remember, was someone who the Ducks got last year in the Brian Dumoulin trade from the Devils. So I don't know much about Herman Trapp, but hopefully he does well in San Diego, and we can see where he goes from there. I think Lightning should spend one more year in college. Lightning, I got it. That's funny. Ducks forward Beckett Seneca has been fined $2,000 for diving/embellishment, and that was during the game on March 15th against the Montreal Canadiens. I will say this: I understand why he got fined. At first, when they called the embellishment call on him during the game, I was like, what? And then I saw the replay. I was like, yeah, that was definitely a dive. Like, he went down a little too easy. And I understand 100%. It was a dive.
I don't think they call that enough.
They don't. It's funny, like, the times they do, you don't understand why. Like, I'm like, here's the thing. I agree with what Jeff Merrick says on this. You can't be called for the penalty and then the other player getting called for embellishment. It should be one or the other. If it's embellishment, then don't call the other penalty.
Well, you're going to call a penalty. It's just embellishment and not tripping. Or most of them, it's like tripping, right?
Yeah, most of the time, yeah, it's like tripping
or hooking or something like that.
Yeah.
I mean,
so
it's a good.
I think he meant if you ain't chatting, you ain't trying to. I think you meant cheating. I hope that's what you meant, Adam. Other than that, I think your ugliness is getting into your old age of trying to spell.
I think he meant it the way he said it.
If you ain't chatting,
I think Lightning should spend one more year in college. But he's chatting that. He ain't. If you ain't chatting, you ain't trying. I get it.
Okay.
It makes sense to me. I don't know. Maybe it didn't to you, but it makes sense to me.
No, it makes no sense to me. All right. Next bit of Ducks news. John Carlson, who's 36 years old and 73 days, becomes the oldest defenseman in Ducks history to record a multi-assist period. That was last previously held by Scott Niedermayer, who was 35 years old and 212 days old on March 31st, 2009.
Interesting.
Yep. And then Sam Colangelo has been suspended 2 games for a cross-checking incident during the game on March 22nd. And then the last bit of Ducks news I have, and this one really hurts me because he's, I would say, someone who, when I hear his voice, I think Ducks hockey. After 30 years behind the Anaheim Ducks microphone, Steve Carroll is calling it a career. At the conclusion of this season, the 2025-2026 season, his last broadcast will be at our final regular season home game on April 12th.
So he's not going to do the playoffs?
I don't know.
Okay. So something for us to look into.
Yeah, it's, hopefully we can get more information on that later. Maybe, I'll try to talk to people and see how that works. But Steve Carroll is such an icon in Ducks history, and it's so sad to hear. But like I said, 30 years, he's been there pretty much almost since day one. It's like I said, we used to listen to him on our way home from umpiring sometimes. Like I said, I still remember that Ducks Stars playoff game when we were driving home. You went to the AM PM. It was like, I think, right off of Catella, too.
It was a Catella.
And you're like, and I think I asked you to get me a drink because I did not want to leave the vehicle because I wanted to listen. And I was just going Ducks, quack, quack, quack.
No, we were doing quack, quack, quack.
No, I know, but when you were inside, I was doing it, and then I want to say it was Devontae Smith-Pelly that scored.
It was Devontae. I remember it
I think
clearly.
you looked over and you just see the truck just shaking. I was like,
yeah, he scored. I think they were down 2.
They were down by 2. Yeah. And
did he score the first one, I think?
Yeah. Playoffs. Here's what Adam says. Playoffs are usually covered by other networks and different broadcasters. That's true. I didn't think.
I'm talking about like Ducks radio.
Yeah.
And I mean, that's what I'm talking. I'm not talking about, being broad, because he's not on TV anyways. He's a radio guy, just like, for the longest time, Nick Nixon was the Kings while Bob Miller did TV. Now that's 2 icons in 2 years retiring from Southern California hockey radio. And, Steve Carroll, he did it his way. And you're right. It's something that's, I think, going to be really missed. I mean, I listened to the game recently and it wasn't him. I don't know who it was. I never did hear the name. He did a decent job. He kept me informed.
Who was it? I just saw it on social media like a week ago.
And I do also want to say, I think Emerson Edom has gotten a little better.
I'm usually watching on Victory Plus, so I don't really hear the radios as
well, he's actually not talking too fast. He still talks fast, but it's maybe I'm getting used to it.
Yeah.
Because I for a couple seasons I found him sometimes. Sorry, Emerson, it was annoying. But I want to say you've really honing your craft. You're getting better.
Yeah.
So that's good.
Adam says, same with radio lately. Usually they will broadcast the TV audio on the radio during playoffs. Okay.
Perfect.
Well, that's it for Ducks news. I just wanted to, appreciate Steve Carroll like that. I believe he deserves not just, talk about it, then move on to the next one. I think I wanted to really, talk about, Steve Carroll as a Ducks fan and how I remember him and really put, an emphasis on it.
So on to league news.
I'll let you start.
Penguins forward and ex-King Blake Lizotte is out at least 4 weeks with an upper body injury. And if you guys don't know, Blake was one of those guys, those college guys. College free agency, sometimes you land some gold with those players. Blake Lizotte, Alex Iafallo, just 2 Kings who came from college, never drafted, and they made a difference. So I hope he gets healthy. Last time I looked, Penguins were in second place in their division, so that's going to hurt them.
Yeah. So next one is Canadians forward Kirby Dach, also out 2 to 4 weeks with an upper body injury.
And this is probably the biggest crushing news for an injury right now. Oilers forward Leon Draisaitl is expected to miss the remainder of the 25-26 regular season with a lower body injury suffered against the Nashville Predators. And that really does hurt the Oilers. They're they're behind the Ducks right now and ahead of Vegas, I think, even with that injury. Yeah. But I got to tell you, the Pacific Division's a log jam of craziness going on right now. The separation between top and bottom is closest in that division than any. I mean, honestly, nobody's outstanding like they are in the Central or in the other 2 divisions. You have teams that are just steps and above everybody else. I mean, the Ducks are in first place and well-deserved on their part. They have played great hockey. I mean, they've had their ups and downs, but they're in first place. But that division is such a log jam because it's very competitive.
Yeah.
Right now. It's very competitive. And what's funny is it's the teams that you would really expect to really be dominating it are not even in first place. There are 2 playoff teams right now, second and third, but who'd have guessed the Ducks would be in first place?
I wouldn't have guessed it.
So yeah.
Next bit news: Senators defenseman Nick Jensen will be out at least 6 weeks after ongoing knee surgery.
Wow.
Well,
a lot of injuries.
Mom says the Ducks they've played stressful hockey. I'll talk about more of that later.
Well, I got to tell you, wow.
Yeah.
I got home. Was it Thursday night? And the Ducks were playing. I went into the living room, and I could hear your mom over my TV yelling. Yelling at them. Doesn't seem like, I think they won the game, but she was not happy with how they played.
Yeah.
I think, the earth moved a little bit.
Oh, that could have been me too.
Yeah, well, I could definitely feel it from your mom. The Utah Mammoth have signed Mikael Carcone to a 2-year, $1.75 AAV contract extension.
Yep. Let's see. Sheldon Keefe says that Brett Pesce is questionable to be able to return this season. I'm going to take the next one because it has to do with the Devils as well. Stefan Noesen has also been ruled out for the remainder of the year.
Wow, a lot of injuries.
Yeah.
Hurricanes and Kraken to play a regular season games in Helsinki for the 2026 Global Series in Finland on November 12th and the 14th. We're taking the NHL around the world.
Yep. Canucks are the first team this season to be eliminated from playoff contention. And then just right after, the New York Rangers have also been eliminated from playoff contention.
Well, you plan to get 2 in a row. Are you going to keep
I
doing
didn't plan that. I'm just trying to knock it out, okay?
I'm just kidding. It's cool.
Hold on. Wait. Before Adam says, Mama Quack is a national treasure. Don't talk bad about her.
I was not talking bad about her. I was talking about how passionate a fan she is for the Anaheim Ducks. It wasn't like it was bad, but she was not a happy girl.
Yeah. All right, now you can go.
Okay. Nico Mikola and Elvis Belinskis are out 4 to 6 weeks with injuries. Both of them the same amount of time, huh?
Yeah, I guess so. Okay. So see, this worked out. Now you don't have to say this next guy's name. The Predators have signed forward Fedor Svechkov to a 2-year, $1.25 million AAV contract extension.
Perfect. I let you take those extra ones so you would have to say that name. I did it on purpose.
Yeah, you did it on purpose.
You believe that? I got some swampland in Florida I want to sell you. The Bruins have announced top prospect James Higgins will sign an amateur tryout agreement and report to AHL Providence. Now, if you guys don't remember the draft, he was expected to go higher. And some,
he was supposed to be number 1.
Yeah. What did he go? Like 9? 8? 7. Okay. I think that was a steal. I mean, he's smaller, and that's probably why he fell a little bit, because the teams are always trying to get as talented. Stop it, Adam. You're throwing off my rhythm.
I've got a beachfront property in Arizona for you, Gary.
Yeah. Well, thanks. If that earthquake does it, well, if she keeps yelling, the earthquake's going to happen, we'll fall in the ocean, and it will be beachfront in Arizona. Anyways, what was I saying? Oh, about Higgins. I think he's going to be a player. I just got this feeling about it. He's going to be one of those guys that just dropped a little farther down. That's going to surprise. So what rhythm? Yeah. Good point, Adam. Good point. Thank you. anyways, that's an amateur tryout. Cody talked about that, ATO, and kind of explained what it was. And, he'll go do that and see if he's ready. If not, he'll play juniors again.
No, he was a college kid. So I think.
So he's going to go play in the AHL.
See, I don't know how that works. Is if you sign an ATO, because I was listening on a podcast and they didn't know if it was possible for him to go back to college or not. Because he didn't technically sign a deal, he just signed an ATO, but he's playing professional hockey, and I guess once you play professional hockey like that, you can't go back to college. So they don't know how it's going to work with the ATO.
Could he go to the ECHL? Which is,
I feel like that's worse for him.
Well, and if he did, I think he's going to play in the AHL anyway. So let's move on.
Yeah,
you heard it here first. He'll be playing in the AHL.
No, I think he's going to play in the NHL this year, and then he'll be in the NHL after that. He's too good of a player, too good of a prospect, and they need him up there. So, the Tampa Bay Lightning announced today or earlier this week that defenseman Victor Hedman will be taking a temporary leave of absence from the team for personal reasons. I hope whatever Hedman's going through, he gets through it and he's able to get back and play well for the Lightning.
Wow. Yeah, that hurts them. And they're in second place now, right?
Yeah, second place now, yeah.
Because the Buffalo Sabres are in first place. Who'd have thought? Anyways, the Detroit Red Wings have signed defenseman Jacob Bernard-Docker to a 2-year contract extension with an AAV of $1.6 million.
Yep, and last bit of league news is Thomas Chabot has a broken forearm and had surgery earlier this week, and he is out 6 to 8 weeks. So
I know we're gonna go kind of quickly through these because of the watch party. So we're probably just gonna give scores, maybe who did score, the goals, and then who won the game. Not all the other stats, so we can get a little jump to go to Anaheim and be part of that watch party. Yep. Are you starting or am I starting?
I'll start since mine will go pretty quick. There's just one thing I do have to talk about at this game, but it should go quick. Okay. The Ducks on March 14th were in Ottawa, the Canadiens' capital, and it was not a pretty game at all. The Ducks got outplayed, and they didn't score. Both goals were in the second period. Michael Amadio scored the first goal at the 3:54 mark. And then I would say the goal that was the biggest controversy was the Thomas Chabot goal. That was a shorthanded goal, the 2-0 goal. So in this one, you see Tim Stützle kind of go to Husso's left. He skates into Husso's right skate, and then also when the Chabot shot the puck, you could see Stützle's stick also hit Husso's glove, and it looked like literal the definition of goalie interference. The Ducks reviewed it, they challenged it, and it came back as a good goal, which has everyone baffled. Like you could tell Stützle thought it was goalie interference. The Senators broadcasters thought it was goalie interference. Everyone thought it was goalie interference except for the Toronto people. Maybe they're still mad about the whole Gudis situation. That's what a lot of people were thinking. Here's even Adam. And Adam plays hockey. He's a goalie, and so he knows the rule pretty well. Even he says, I have no idea how that wasn't interference. Like I said, because you couldn't, Husso's right skate got hit, so he couldn't even push off of it if he wanted to. And like I said, Stützle went in on his own. There was nobody near Stützle to force him into Husso. So, like I said, I don't understand how that was not goalie interference. Every time I start thinking I get a handle on it, it's plays like this that like it has me like, wait, what is goal interference?
Well,
Like,
Cody, I got to tell you, I was watching when that happened. That was definitely goalie interference. And that's just like that one play at first base. I think it was in Detroit. First base umpire,
Jim Joyce. I remember that.
Yeah,
one. The perfect game one.
Yeah.
And this
he blew the call. He blew the call at first base. Completely, no doubt about it. He even apologized afterwards, but nothing changed. Well, the outcome didn't change. Nothing changed. I mean, honestly, people, I'm going to be honest with you. If you think these games are going to go perfect, none of them will. We're dealing with people who are all except for Adam. Everybody else does make mistakes. I mean, I watch hockey games and I get upset too about how plays are called too. But I mean, if we can't focus on it because that's not going to change anything. We got to move on from it.
Yeah.
And that was a travesty. And honestly, no doubter. I don't see how they don't fix that, but they didn't.
Well, okay. So I have one caveat to what you said.
Okay.
About the baseball play. There's a difference between what happened with the Ducks game and what happened with that one. There was no replay challenge for that call for the baseball one.
But
because if there was,
but being an umpire, what could have he done?
Made the right call?
No, he could have gone to home plate and say, "Hey."
I don't know if they can do that in the pros like that.
Pulled foot, swipe tag. You can.
It wasn't a pull foot swipe tag situation. But here's okay. But like I said, we're getting off topic. I mean, we're on topic, but not.
Okay. Move on.
Stuff like that. But here's the thing. Even without that, so okay, say it was goal interference, callback. The Ducks are losing this game 1-0. They didn't score. You got to score to win games. The Ducks didn't score. I'm not saying we lost because of this goal interference. It didn't help because we've seen from the Ducks all year that when they're down by, goals, they come back and at least tie it or they make a game out of it. But you got to score to keep yourself in games. So either way, the Ducks were going to lose this game if they called it goal interference or not, because you still got to score to win. So I'm going to just go over like the main stats. The shots on goal, we got all shot 28-24. We won the faceoff percentage 60-40. Obviously, we're 0-4 on the power play because we didn't score a single goal, but we were also perfect on the penalty kill. We were 4-4. And the Ducks lose the season series to Ottawa, getting swept 2-0. 3 stars of the game. Yeah, Jordan Spence was the number 3 star. Shane Pinto was the number 2 star with 2 assists. And Linus Ullmark was the number 1 star who had the shutout. And like I said, he was great. And also, it wasn't like a fluke shutout. Ullmark was great. And honestly, I'm glad because he deserves to have a good game like this. So, and I think it's really changed things around for them too. So that's it for our first game.
Okay, so I'm not going to go in that detail. We got 7 games each to do. So yeah. I'm going to give you who scored, what the final score was, and maybe the 3 stars.
Okay.
If we do that, I think we can get through this a little bit quicker. You kind of went right back to how we always do it.
I know. I wanted to.
And we have a lot of games, so I'm scolding you right now. So feel it there.
Whatever.
Okay, so let's. 2 weeks ago, in New Jersey, Kings playing the Devils. Game starts off this way. Cody Glass gets his 15th at the 7:58 mark and puts New Jersey up 1-0. Then Nico Herscher scores his 22nd from Meyer his 15th and Luke Hughes his 26th at the 11:04 mark, and it's 2-0 New Jersey. And that's how the first period ended. But the Kings came back kind of strong in the second period. This is a game where team kind of dominated periods, kind of. Anze Kopitar on the power play gets his 9th from Clark, his 27th, and Panarin his 46th. And it's now 2-1. Then Panarin scores his 22nd from Edmondson, his 16th, and Kempe is 32nd. And the game now is tied 2-2. Then Taylor Ward, not the Angel, but the King, gets his 3rd from Brant Clark, his 28th, and Hellenius his 4th. And the Kings, being down 2-0, now take a 3-2 lead. But in the third period, Arseny Gritsuk scores his what? Grizzlick. I don't even see an L in there, but like, okay. He scores his 12th to tie the game. Then Nico Hischier scores his 23rd on the power play to make it 4-3. Then Anze Kopitar. What?
So I'm thinking of a different player. It is Gritsik. So I thought it was a different player.
Okay, we can move on.
Yep,
well,
keep going.
I'm okay with that. Anze Kopitar scored his 10th on the power play to tie it 4-4. But then Jack Hughes, USA hero, scores his 17th on the power play from Hischier, his 26th, and Hamilton his 20th. It's 5-4. And then Timo Meier gets an empty netter, his 18th from Hischier, to solidify and win the game 6-4. The 3 stars were Jack Hughes with a goal. His 3rd star, 2nd star, with 2 goals was Anze Kopitar. And obviously the number 1 star of the game was Nico Hischier, scoring 2 goals and 2 assists. On to your next game, Cody.
All right. So the Ducks played on March 15th in Montreal, and this was John Carlson's first game as an Anaheim Duck, and also Troy Terry is back in his from his injury. The Ducks win this one 4-3 on a very late goal. And here's the scoring: Leo Carlsson with the first 2 goals, his 22nd and 23rd of the year. Troy Terry with assist on both of them, and then it was a very ugly second period as the Ducks give up 3 straight goals, and it's 3-2. And then Troy Terry ties it up and makes it 3-3. That was his 14th goal of the year. And then with 17:30 left in the third period, Cutter Goalie with his 34th of the year gets the game winner. So the Ducks win this one 4-3. Shots on goal was 30-28. Ducks lose the face-off percentage. And this one, 52-48. And the power play, the Ducks were 0-for-1. And your 3 starts of the game are Troy Terry with 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points. I don't know how he made this list. At the number 2 is Ivan Demidov, who did absolutely nothing. And then Leo Carlsson is number 1 with 2 goals, 1 assist for 3 points. And the Ducks did sweep the season series against the Montreal Canadiens. And here, Adam made it easier for you to for your recap. Kings played 7 games in 2 weeks. Won some, lost some. No one cares. Move on.
Yeah. Okay. I think the Ducks won some, lost some too, but that's all right.
I think we won more than lost. Just saying.
Maybe.
You guys had a 4-game losing streak. We're on a 4-game winning streak.
You lost to Ottawa, right? You lost to the Flyers. You won that one. Yeah. You guys went 5-2.
Yeah.
We went 4-3. Oh, what a big difference that is. Anyways, moving on. Kings go to New York and play the Rangers, which I still haven't figured out how the Rangers have gone from being a President's Cup team to this, but they have. So it started off with the scoring in the first period. Drew Doughty gets his 5th from Anderson, his 11th, and Panarin his 48th, and puts the Kings up 1-0. And that's how the first period ended. Then in the second period, his partner, Mikey Anderson, gets his 4th from Laferriere is 14th and Byfield is 21st. And the Kings are up 2-0. Then Alex Laferriere gets a 17th on the power play from Kopitar is 21st and Byfield is 22nd, and it's 3-0. Then, and we go to the third period, and with a 3-0 lead, and Vincent Trocheck gets his 14th from Fox is 30th, and Zibanejad is 36th. 3-1 Kings. And with the Rangers pulling the goalie, Trevor Moore gets his 9th, an empty netter from Laferriere is 15th to finish off the scoring, and it's 4-1 Kings. The 3 stars of the game, Andrei Kopitar with an assist was the 3rd star. Mikey Anderson with a goal and an assist was a 2nd star. And Alex Laferriere, the number 1 star with a goal and 2 assists. On to your next game, Cody.
All right. For our next game, the Ducks played our new Eastern Conference rival, the Philadelphia Flyers. And what a game this was. Did not start pretty for the Ducks. They go down 0-2. You know, Luke Glendening and Owen Tippett score for Philadelphia. And then, of course, Cutter Gauthier gets his 35th on the year on the power play, makes it 2-1 Philly. And then late in the third, Leo Carlsson gets his 24th of the year and ties it up 2-2. We go into overtime, and as much as I love Beckett Seneca, I swear, I think Ducks should be, what's the word? They should never try to do any between the legs or behind the back moves during overtime, because it's just never worked well for the Ducks. And if you're a real Ducks fan and you know what I'm talking about, I hope you're laughing. Because Beckett Seneca tried to do a fancy play, and sure enough, turns it over. The Flyers get the puck, and they go down the other side, and Noah Cates from behind the net kind of banks it off of the Ducks defender, and then it goes off of Dostal's skate, and it goes into the net, and that's your overtime winner. Philadelphia wins 3-2 in overtime. We outshot Philadelphia 36-28. We lost the face-off percentage 56-44. The Ducks were 1 for 4 on the power play. And, of course, we lost the season series again to the Flyers. And I feel like ever since we've done the Cutter Gauthier trade, the Ducks have done nothing but lose to the Flyers. So the Ducks at least get a point in this one. And the Ducks lose this one 3-2 in overtime. And you're the 3 stars, Cutter Gauthier with 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points. Leo Carlsson with the 1 goal, 1 point, and then Noah Cates with the overtime winners, the number 1 star.
All right.
Adam says, but what if that move worked? Then we would be praising him. Yes, you're right. I probably would be, but it wasn't the right move at the right time for Beckett. But then again, he does that a lot, and it seems to work for him. So on to your next one, Dad.
All right. Philadelphia comes in and plays the Kings now. And the scoring starts off with, I think, probably the hottest King. It seems to happen at the end of the season every year. We want it to parlay to a whole season, but Quentin Byfield gets his 14th, from Moore his 12th, Laferriere his 16th, and that line is probably the hottest line going for the Kings in the last 2 weeks. And the Kings are up 1-0, and that's how the first period ends. Then in the second period, I mean, this guy's always scoring goals. Travis Konechny gets his 25th from Ristolainen, his 6th, and Bump. Now that's a hockey name, Bump.
Alex Bump, yeah.
Yeah, his second to tie it 1-1. Then Anze Kopitar, the captain, he's picking up his game too. Got his 11th from Brandt Clark, his 30th assist, and Panarin his 49th. And the Kings are up 2-1. Then Noah Cates. Noah Cates was the one that scored the game winner against the Ducks, and he's beating up on the Kings now. He got his 14th from Michikov, his 19th, and Ristolainen his 7th, and it's tied 2-2. Then Travis Sanheim gets his 7th from Cates his 23rd, and Michikov his 20th, and it's 3-2 Philadelphia. Then Artemi Panarin gets his 23rd from Lawton, his 6th. And I got to tell you, I know Lawton hadn't had much of a great year, but he's been a player in years past, and it seems like this move is good for him. He's really making a difference. The Kings are actually playing a little better since they got him, and so that tied the game at 3-3. And then we go to overtime. Nobody scores, but who does? But shoots the overtime winner. But ex-Duck Trevor Zegras to win the game. And it's a 4-3 loss to Philadelphia. The 3 stars of the game. Panarin was the 3rd star with a goal and assist. Michikov was the 2nd star with 2 assists. And Cates, I bet you was he the player of the game in your game too?
Yes.
With a goal and assist. So obviously he likes playing in Southern California.
Yeah. Well, I mean, the Flyers did well on their California road trip. They went 3-0. So
there we go.
All right. On to my next one. Dad, hello?
Yeah, go on to your next one.
All right. The Ducks come back home for a quick little 1-game homestand against the Utah Mammoth. It's a very big game because this could be a possible playoff series. And of course, here's the normal thing. The Ducks don't score first. Dylan Guenther gets the scoring started with his 34th of the year, and that makes it 1-0. Ryan Poehling ties it up short-handed goal, and now we're tied 1-1, and that was his 9th goal of the year. Alex Killorn gets a lone goal in the second period. It makes it 2-1 Anaheim, and it was pretty much all I would say Mammoth pretty much dominated the third period, but luckily the Ducks, shut them out in the third. And then Cutter Goalie and Mikael Granlund get empty netters to make it a 4-1 win. That was Cutter's 36th goal of the year and Granlund's 13th goal of the year. So the Ducks win this one 4-1. The Ducks get outshot 30-24. We do win the face-off percentage 64-36. Ducks were 0 for 5 on the power play. The Ducks win the season series 2-1. And then your 3 stars. Guenther is the number 3 star with the 1 goal. Alex Killorn with the number 2 star with 1 goal, 2 assists for 3 points. And Lukas Dostal is the number 1 star, only 1 goal and a save percentage of .967. So, and now it's on to yours.
So now we bring powerhouse the Buffalo Sabres to LA. We started off great. Artemi Panarin on the power play gets his 24th from Kopitar's 22nd and Kempe is 33rd. And the Kings are up 1-0. And then that's how it ends in the first period. Second period, Tage Thompson scores his 36th from Krebs' 24th and Samuelson his 27th to tie the game. And if it, a good comparison for possibly Quentin Byfield, and I know I've talked about it quite a bit this year, is him really reaching his potential. Tage Thompson is proof that it can happen.
Yeah.
I mean, it took him, I think, 24, 25 before he really fell into that, because he's a big boy too, big guy. Before he really fell into the body, and he played for Team USA. So, anyways, second period, that was the only score of the with that goal was tied the game, and then we go to the third period, and I don't know, ex-Ducks seem to kill the Kings. Sam Carrick gets his 9th from Benson, his 24th, and Metza his 4th. They'll put the Buffalo up 2-1. Then Rasmus Dahlin scores unassisted on a power play. I think it was an own goal for his 15th, and that's 3-1. And then, pull the goalie. Zach Benson gets his 8th empty netter, and the game ends with a 4-1 score. Luukkonen is the 3rd star. give up 1 goal and a .963 save percentage. Carrick was the second star with a goal, and Tage Thompson was the first star with 1 goal. On to your next game, Cody.
I'm sorry, I misspoke. The Mammoth game was a quick 1-game road trip, and then the Ducks come back and host a 1-game homestand against the Buffalo Sabres. So I got my home and away games mixed up. But the Ducks host the red-hot Buffalo Sabres, and once again, the Ducks give up the very first goal 3 minutes and 30 seconds in. Alex Tuch gets his 29th of the year. But then the Ducks get 2 pretty quick power play goals back-to-back. Chris Kreider with a power play goal, his 22nd of the year. And Jackson Lacombe gets his 9th goal of the year on the power play. So the Ducks are up 2-1. And then Josh Doan gets his 23rd of the year, ties it up 2-2. So we're tied 2-2 after 1. We go into the second period, and Beckett Seneca gets his 21st of the year to make it 3-2 Anaheim. And then Troy Terry, his 15th of the year, makes it 4-2 Ducks. And that's after 2 periods. We move on to the third period, and this is just where it went downhill for the Ducks. Jack Quinn, Owen Power, and Zach Benson all get 3 goals. Or sorry, each get a goal and make it. So now a 2-goal lead for the Ducks. Now they're down 5-4. And that was at the 11:37 mark was the last one. And then at the 18:16 mark, the Ducks on the power play pulled the goalie, and the Ducks tied up on a Mikael Granlund power play goal, his 14th of the year, and we're tied 5-5. And then in overtime, Troy Terry, unassisted, backhanded shot, roofs it. I mean, he literally roofed this puck and scores the overtime winner. Ducks win 6-5 against the red-hot Buffalo Sabres. Stats are shots on goal, 33-29 Ducks. The Ducks did really bad in the face-off percentage, 60-40. The Ducks were 3 for 4 on the power play. And your 3 stars of the game, 1 goal, 1 assist for 2 points is the number 3 star, Zach Benson. Mikael Granlund is the number 2 star with the 1 goal. And then Troy Terry, 2 goals, 2 points is your number 1 star. And the Ducks even the season series between the Buffalo Sabres 1 game apiece. And that's the final game against the Sabres this year. So on to your next one.
So the Kings visit the Yetis in Utah. And I know everybody really wanted that name, but I can go with Mammoth. It's all right. So the scoring starts off with Krause getting his 18th from Marino, his 28th, and it's 1-0 Mammoth. And Alex Laferriere gets his 18th from Quinton Byfield, his 23rd, and now the game's tied 1-1. Then Krause gets his 19th from Kerfoot, his 4th, and Stenlund, his 13th, and it's 2-1 Utah. Then Quinton Byfield gets his 15th unassisted, and after 1 period, it's a 2-2 tie. So we go to the second period, and this is Nick Schmaltz gets his 25th from Keller, his 46th, and Krause his 18th, and Utah's up 3-2. Artemi Panarin gets his 25th from Doughty to tie the game, 3-3. This is actually the third period to tie it 3-3. And then in overtime, Nick Schmaltz gets his 26th from Sergachev, his 38th, and Stenlund his 14th. And the game finishes in overtime once again for the Kings. They lose 4-3 in Utah. McBain was the third star with actually no stats. I guess obviously he did something. Maybe won some face-offs, maybe. Byfield has a goal and assist. You could have put a guy who actually did something, or Laferriere or somebody. I don't know, but it's in Utah. Sometimes it's you get Homer 3 stars. I really believe it should be who deserves it, not where you're playing makes a difference. Krause was the second star, definitely deserving. He had 2 goals and an assist, and Nick Schmaltz, he had the game winner, but had 2 goals, and he's the first star of the game. On to your next game, Cody.
All right. So the Ducks head up to Western Canada and start their Western Canadian road trip in Vancouver against the eliminated from playoff contention Vancouver Canucks. And once again, this should be a record. Jake DeBrusk gets the scoring started for Vancouver, so the Ducks give up the first goal again. And then after that, and it's 1-0 Vancouver. After the first period, Alex Clore gets the scoring started. He ties it up 1 apiece. That was his 12th goal of the year. And then Mikael Granlund scores 2 minutes later and makes it his 15th of the year. It's 2-1 Anaheim. Then Brock Besser scores on the power play for Vancouver, and it's tied 2-2 going into the third period. And then you're going to hear this name a lot in this game and the next game. Mikael Granlund on the power play gets his 16th of the year. So it's 3-2 Anaheim. And then Drew O'Connor ties it up for Vancouver. So it's 3-3, and that was at the 2:22 mark. And then Mason McTavish finally gets off the schneid, finally scores his first goal in, I believe, 12 games. And it happens to be your game winner, by the way. His 14th goal of the year, 4-3 Anaheim. And then Troy Terry on the empty net. And it's funny because he actually missed almost a wide open empty net, but it wasn't his fault. It was it got blocked by a defenseman. So, but he gets empty netter, his 17th goal of the year. So the Ducks win 5-3 in Vancouver. We finally beat Vancouver for the first time this year. The Ducks still have one more game against Vancouver, and it's a home game, and we will be there. We have tickets already for this game. And it's the last home game of the year too. The Ducks
Somebody say hi, guys.
Yep. The Ducks win. Outshot Vancouver 34-30. We did lose the faceoff percentage again, 60-40. The Ducks gave up 2 out of 3 power plays, but they also scored 1 out of 3. Your 3 stars of the game: Mikael Granlund with the 2 goals, 2 points. Elias Pettersson, the forward. So I got to be very careful how I say that because we had 3 Petterssons and 3 Carlsons in this game. So EP40 was the number 2 star with 2 assists. And then John Carlson with 3 assists in this game is your number 1 star. On to your next one.
Okay, we go to Calgary and play the Flames. And for some reason, I don't care how good or bad the Flames are, they always seem to play us tough.
Same.
So the scoring gets started in the first period, but the hottest king right now, Quinton Byfield, gets his 16th from Armia his 11th and Doughty his 15th. And the Kings end the first period with a 1-0 lead. Then ex-King Olli Maatta gets his first goal of the whole year from Ulfsson, his 16th, and Strome his 11th. I do believe that's your ex-Duck Ryan Strome. It's tied 1-1. And that's how the second period ended. And then in the third period, Quinton Byfield gets another goal, his 17th from Morris 13th and LaFerriere 17th, and the Kings have a 2-1 lead. Then Zane Parekh scores his another first. Their 2 goals are first goals for these guys. On the power play from Coronado is 19th and Gridden is 9th, and the game's tied 2-2. Goes to overtime. Nobody wins it in overtime. But Saragovich scores the shootout winner against the Kings. Another overtime loss for the Kings, 3-2. Let's go to the 3 stars. Olli Maatta was the 3rd star with a goal. Quinton Byfield was the 2nd star with 2 goals. And Dustin Wolf was the number 1 star with a .920 save percentage and a 1.85 goals against average for the game. And on to your next game, Cody.
All right, our last game of the week was on March 26th, and the Ducks head over to Calgary. And tell me if you've heard this before, but the Ducks give up the first goal again. Blake Coleman gets his 17th on the year at the 106 mark on a tip-in shot. And then Mikael Granlund, unassisted, gets his 17th of the year, ties it up at the 307 mark. And all this was in the second period. And then, so we're tied 1-1 going into the third period. And then Matt Bay-Gridden gets his 5th of the year to make it 2-1 Calgary, which I don't think that goal should have counted because they forgot to call a penalty. So before this goal, I forgot which Flames player shot the puck and it took out Minchkov. He was down on the ice and everything. And as much as I think they should call it dead right away if a player's just laying, face down on the ice like that and he's not moving and you could tell he's in pain, they should call it dead, but that's not the rule, sadly. But the thing is, one of the Flames players with his stick pushed Minchikov's stick out of the way, and that's actually an automatic penalty. You're not supposed to move the player's stick like that. You can't move their stick out of the way. They didn't call it. Husso even said something about it, and ended up being a goal. But luckily, we have Mikael Granlund because he is a monster right now on the power play with at the 16:27 mark. Gets his 18th of the year to make it his second goal of the game. So now we're tied 2-2, and we head over to overtime. And it goes both ways. The Ducks get a power play. I believe there was a too many men on the ice for the Flames. So the Ducks get a last-minute power play. And sure enough, with 1 second left on the clock, John Carlson slides it into the slot, and Mikael Granlund scores the overtime winner and a hat trick for Granlund on the power play. So the Ducks win 3-2 in Calgary with 1 second left in overtime. What a game. Ducks should have won this one before that, but it's all right. What a game by Mikael Granlund. The Ducks are so far 3-0 against the Calgary this year. All games going into overtime or shootout. The Ducks outshot them 33-25 and actually won the faceoffs 52-48. Ducks were 2 for 5 on the power play, while Calgary was 0 for 1. You have 3 stars of the game. Devin Cooley was the number 3 star, which I don't understand how you lose the game and you're the number 3 star like that.
It happens.
Get goals against. It doesn't make sense to me. But Devin Cooley is the number 3 star. Oli Mata is the number 2 star with 2 assists. And then Mikael Granlund, your hat trick overtime hero, is the number 1 star. And that was the last game of the week for us.
So on to the last game for the Kings. And they go to Vancouver to play the horrible Canucks because at least we have one team we can beat. And it doesn't go to an overtime. Let's go to the scoring. Scott Lawton gets his 11th on the power play from Quentin Byfield, his 24th, and Trevor Moore is 14th. 1-0 Kings. Then we go to the second period. Trevor Moore gets his 10th from Anderson, his 12th, and LaFerriere is 18th. 2-0 Kings. Artemi Panarin scores his 26th from Kempe, his 34th. 3-0 Kings. So now we're going to go to the third period, and on the empty netter, Quentin Byfield gets his 18th from Anderson, his 13th, and Doughty is 16th, and the game ends with a 4-0 shutout for the Kings. Let's go to the 3 stars of the game. Trevor Moore was the 3rd star with a goal and assist. Lankinen, the goalie for Vancouver, was the 2nd star with a 919 save percentage and a 3.17 goals against. And the number 1 star, Quentin Byfield, with a goal and assist. And I guess, if it's in Vancouver, they got to throw a Canuck in there somewhere. I just don't get it. You gave up 4 goals. You lost 4-0. The other goalie had a shutout. He should have been there.
That makes no makes no sense.
You go to some of these cities, Cody, and I want to say most of the time when I see the Kings do it, the media is really like fair most of the time. Not perfect, but fair. That's not the case in some of these cities. How does that guy get to be second star? He loses.
He gives up 4 goals.
Right.
Well, 3 goals. He gave up 3 goals.
Yeah, and then an empty netter. That's true. We're now finished with our games. You ended up 3-4 this week, and you are 40-30.
Wow.
I went 5-2 on my predictions, and I'm 38-34. And I just kind of looked back. At one time, I was 17-26.
Wow.
So I have gone 21-8 since then. I mean,
you know what I think helped you is you started predicting the Kings to lose more.
Well, I actually was trying to find a rhythm with it. Sometimes I would do that. I just pick them, and I'd lose because they'd win a couple games, and then somehow, I don't know, maybe I started getting in the zone with it a little better, and so I'm predicting a little bit better.
Yeah.
I've been pretty much. Literally the last 2 weeks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I've won 9 and lost 2 in the last 2 weeks.
Yeah.
In that same time, you have gone 5-5.
Yeah.
But at least I made it competitive.
Yeah. All right. Let's.
I do not.
Let's go to predictions because we're cutting it pretty close.
Okay.
All right. I'll go first. So the Ducks play today at 12:30 p.m. So in about 2 hours. The Ducks are in Edmonton, and I'm predicting a 5-4 win for that one. And then on Monday, the return of the Toronto Maple Leafs come to Anaheim against the Ducks. Maybe we'll see some fighting in that one. I'm predicting a 4-2 win against the Maple Leafs at home on Monday. Then on Wednesday, April Fool's Day, the Ducks are in San Jose, and I'm also predicting a 6-4 win on that one. And then on Friday, the Ducks host the Blues, and I don't know why I'm just predicting a loss 4-3. So win 5-4, win 4-2, win 6-4, loss 4-3.
Okay.
Does that help you out?
I don't know. Does it?
I don't know. I'm asking you.
Yeah, I'll have to write it down because I'm the one that's tracking it. But I'll get to that after we get done.
Okay.
So I'm going to go to my games. The Kings play the Mammoth tonight at crypto.com. I predict a 5-3 loss to the Mammoth. And then on Wednesday, April Fools, I picked the Kings to win that game 4-3.
Was that an April Fool's joke?
Maybe. And then Thursday, they play the Predators, and the Predators, they've really made a comeback from what happened to them last year. I got to give them credit for that.
They played very well when I was in Nashville last week.
Yeah.
I'll talk more about that in next week's podcast because I want to talk about like what happened and about the trip, and when we have more time, we'll talk about that.
Yeah, unfortunately, with 2 weeks worth of games, talking about them and so forth, taking up a bunch of time. We'll have a little more time next week. But on Thursday against the Predators, I have the Kings losing 5-2. So hopefully my streak continues, and maybe I could at least make it really competitive with you. But I do have a trivia question that's going to be asked but not answered till next week.
Okay.
What is now? The answer could change during the week, just to give you a clue. Most overtime losses in a season. Okay. Right now, I think there's 4 teams that are tied with that record. Okay. So, anyways, send us your answers throughout the week. And then, of course, if that record gets broken, you can also send another message saying, hey, my answer before they were tied, now they're not. Okay.
And
give
that
us an
works
answer
perfectly because you can send us your answers at Royally Quacked on all social media platforms. See the segue I did there? That was smooth. You can also, like I said, message us on.
Do not repeat what Adam said. We're not going to say it.
Yeah, I'm not going to say the answer. But yes, if you want to send us your answer, you can do it on Instagram, Twitter, or X, Blue Sky, Facebook, at Royally Quacked. Send us your answers there. Or you can put it in the comments in the videos on YouTube. And while you're there, don't forget to hit the subscribe button and hit the like button as well. Let's get the likes going. Like spike. It would really help us out. You have no idea. Other than that, like I said, please leave a rating and a review on your podcast platform. If you leave a review, I will read it on the podcast. On that, do you have anything else to add before we get out of here?
I don't think so.
Okay, because as soon as we get off of here, I'm literally going to get off, put socks and shoes on, and head out and kiss my wife goodbye and head out to see you, and we'll be at the Ducks watch party.
Amen to that. And we do appreciate you all for listening and supporting us. And hopefully you guys have an awesome week this next week.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe we could, there's an outside chance we could have 2 teams in the playoffs. I think
that'd be nice.
A real stretch for one.
Yeah.
But it's still a possibility. So I think the Ducks are a lock, though.
They have a high percentage, yes. Before we get out here, we'll do it real quick. Standing. I'm going to do a quick standings recap. East, you have Buffalo leading the way in the Atlantic. Tampa Bay is number 2. Montreal is number 3. Carolina is number 1 in the Metro. Pittsburgh is number 2. Columbus is number 3 right now. And your 2 wildcard teams are Boston and New York Islanders. So right now the playoffs would look like, let's see, who has the higher points this tied? So it looks like Carolina would go against the Islanders. Boston would go against the Sabres. You have Tampa versus Montreal, and then Pittsburgh versus Columbus. And then on the West, you have Colorado already clinched a playoff spot already. They're leading the Central, and then Dallas is number 2, who also clinched a playoff spot. And then Minnesota is number 3 in the Central. Ducks are leading the way in the Pacific with 86 points. Edmonton with 81 points is number 2. And Vegas is number 3 with 79. And also the Ducks have played 1 less game than them. Utah Mammoth is the first wildcard team with 80 points. Nashville Predators is the number 2 wildcard team with 77, but the Kings are right behind them with 76 points. So it's possible. But it's more possible for them to get a wildcard spot than in the Pacific probably. So
it's a wild card or nothing for the Kings.
Yeah. So now
they got to be lucky to get there, to be honest.
So right now the Predators would play against the Colorado, and then Dallas and Minnesota. Ducks would go against the Mammoth, and then Edmonton and Vegas. If the season ended today, that would be the playoff matchups.
And I got to tell you, Adam, what you said is not even close.
If there's 2, then they'll lose in the first round versus Edmonton again.
They won't even play Edmonton.
No, they won't even play Edmonton.
They'll end up playing Colorado probably.
Yeah.
So that's a loss.
Yeah, unless like Vegas just goes downhill and the Kings go on a run. That's the only way. And I would laugh so hard if it's year 5 of it. But then again, we need to get out of here because, like I said, we got to make it to.
We're gonna go have some more fun at the watch party. If you guys, it's at Brewery X in Anaheim. It starts at 12:30. I'd get there earlier than later just because parking is terrible, and that's why we're cutting this one early for you, so we can be there and hopefully have some fun with you guys. Yeah. And we appreciate your support, guys.
Yep. And love you guys, and we'll see you guys next week at Royally Quacked.
A father